You.
Great. Eric, who's our guest?
Our guest is Simr. Did I say that correct, please?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, thank you. I was practicing.
Simr Sandhu? Is that
Hmm.
is
Yes,
that
hello.
also? I'm sorry.
I said hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome on.
Oh,
You sent us a comic to read before the show. It was
the Yellow Devil, part
Yeah,
part
one.
one.
part one.
Cool. So tell us, are you the artist or the writer, or how does
Oh,
Both.
this?
I'm the writer and the letterer. The artist is Christian David Navarro.
Mhm.
Oh, cool.
Um, yeah.
Cool. How did you get started in comics?
Oh, I've always made comics since I was young. But like in the last year of high school, my school did this thing. Our mascot was called the Sand Vipers, so we had this thing called the Viper Venture, where you took a week and you could do take like workshops or anything that you wanted. And I saw a comics workshop, so I was like, oh, why not? It sounds interesting. And it was actually only 3 days, but I had so much fun. We made a one-page comic in those 3 days, and I really had a lot of fun making that. So I was like, I want to keep doing this.
Oh, cool.
So yeah,
Had you written stuff before? Were you already a writer?
yeah, I had written stuff, but like um, don't want to revisit my old work, you know. It's
Yeah.
kind of,
Okay.
but yeah.
Cool. And so, what was where did this story sort of come out of? It's a western.
Mhm.
You said that you're in Northwest Arkansas. Is that kind of how this came about? Is there a lot of this still going on?
No, actually,
Cowboys.
I wrote the story not when I was living here. I was actually living out of the United States, but I got this idea because um, oh, I forgot what it's called now, but basically violence against like Chinese immigrants in the late 1800s or like throughout the 1800s. And I thought, what if there's a story about revenge, you know, about them getting revenge, and but then I wanted to have my own kind of spin on it that like vigilantes aren't they're not good, you know, there's consequences for your actions. So that was my that was my thing. But obviously part one didn't really get to that part yet. Might make part two. I don't know, maybe soon.
Were you always a big fan of westerns, or just for this one time?
Oh, I went through a phase where I got really into westerns. I think it was when the pandemic first started. um I started watching a lot of westerns, and well, not a lot, but then I started researching about Western culture and guns and what life was like back then. And now I kind of grown out of it, but yeah.
Yeah, it had a really good pacing.
Yeah, it was a good story.
Oh, thank you. I honestly I don't know if I like it anymore. I feel like the action scenes didn't come out as well as I thought, but yeah, it was good. You know, I'm still learning, so
Well,
In
what do you mean
terms
by
of
that?
writing,
How does
yeah, what do
that?
you mean by that?
Yeah, let's go. Let's explore that.
I feel like the action was hard to follow, and I'm not sure if it was my script or if it was the artist, to be honest. But I feel like if he had done a few more like wide shots, it would be easier to see where everything was and where everyone where you know what was going down.
I see.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Um, what was the script like? Were you specific about like um what kind of like how the distance of the shots, or was that kind of up to the artist in this case?
Yeah, it was oh man, it was a long time ago, but yeah, it was up to the artist. I would just be like, Lee shoots one of the outlaws, and then he shoots another outlaw. It was just like that. I think I should have maybe had more. um yeah, I've definitely improved as a writer, I think, in terms of comics.
Give more like instructions now.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. Was this one of your first comics, or?
Yeah, this was my first self-published comic.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Have
first one
you
is the most important, but it's also sometimes not the best. Yeah.
you said your first self-published? Have you worked on other comics beforehand?
I mean, there's that. I made like one-page comics, or I made back in high school. I used to just draw like one gag comics. You know, like it just be like 4 panels, and then it would have a gag or something. And I had fun making that, but then I got more into comic books and graphic novels later on, and I was like, oh, this is more interesting. I have more. I can say more things. You know, more things to say, I guess.
Cool.
What do you use to letter?
Oh, I
Our Twitch chat wants to know.
I use Photoshop to letter, but I'm thinking of switching to Clip Studio. I think when they have the Black Friday sale, I'll get it because I heard they have it's made for making comics basically. And
Okay.
yeah.
Cool. I do have to say, like, I'm not sure if I agree with you about the action scenes. Just having watched like a lot of old westerns, the good ones have these extreme close-ups, like this, and you can kind of follow it. But I maybe a couple pages could have used one more wide shot, but I don't know. What do you think, Eric?
I mean, I thought that like it took me more than one read, but I was able to follow along pretty well what was happening, and it also kind of felt to me the way it was close-ups. It was more of like of the western, you know, like the two people meeting in the middle of the road, getting ready to pull the guns out, the duel.
Yeah.
It was very reminiscent of that.
Yeah, I think that was what my artist was going for, and well, I'm glad I got positive reviews for it. I mean, like from people who bought it and read it, so I'm glad I
That's good.
Yeah, I
yeah.
definitely
What would
think it's like one of those artistic uh impulses, right? To like watch your old work and like shudder, like it's like, oh, what was I doing, you know? But like nobody else sees that but you, because you're just like the
yeah.
perfectionist, and you have the behind the scenes look, you know? It's like nobody else is looking at what you're looking at because you're just too close to it, to the
Yeah,
project.
no. Whenever an artist puts something out, they're always like, "Oh my god, this is not good enough. We can never compare to everything else." Whereas every one other person, it's like, "Oh my god, a great piece of artwork that is awesome to read."
Yeah.
And that's kind of like what it was. Like, I would not have thought you would have been hard on yourself because I thought this was just a really well done story and everything. So that was just interesting to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like what I really, really liked and was surprising, uh, because you had reached out and you were like, warning, there's like racial slurs in this and and violence, and I was like, oh no, this isn't gonna work out. We're not gonna end up liking this. But this had a like really nice, like sort of like the Django take where it was like getting revenge on racial violence and like racism, was like just a really nice read. It's
Yeah.
cathartic.
I was definitely inspired by I love Django Unchained, and so yeah, it's a great movie.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to yourself, like if you're doing this again for the first time? Because you said you weren't happy, something like what advice would you give to any young aspiring artist?
Oh, just I don't know. Just like just keep going, I guess, you know. Wait, are you talking about artists or writers or both?
Oh yeah.
I'm
Both,
confused.
either
Yeah.
or, neither. I mean, if you want to talk about like making the perfect sandwich, and what advice would you give to make the perfect sandwich? Let's go with that.
Um, you just have to keep doing it, I guess. And the first times are gonna suck, but you know, it's gonna get easier, I guess, or it's gonna get more. And when it gets easier, it gets more fun. Um, but it's very hard to start. And uh, there was this one uh YouTuber that I used to watch called Draw with Jezza. I don't know if you guys know him. But he had this thing where he would talk about different types of practice, and then there's like oh shoot, I forgot now. But basically, there's inspired practice. There's like which is like when you feel really inspired and you it's like the best kind of practice, but it kind of it's not sustainable. You know, you lose it. It like comes at weird times and it's definitely not sustainable if you're doing a deep, like sizable project. Um, and then there's the other. I only remember the other one where it's where you force yourself to work like at a consistent time. Like you try to draw every day for like a couple hours or something. And I think you need to have a combination of both. So you could have a project where that inspires you, but that also challenges you. I think. I don't know.
No, it makes sense.
That's interesting. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Do you do like daily practice?
Oh no, definitely not. I uh like I haven't it's like on and off for me with drawing and writing. Definitely I write like in short bursts, so then I take a break and just think about it, and then
Oh, cool.
I go back. Yeah.
What are you working on right now?
I am working on I actually just finished a comic that will be published. It will be my first published comic. It's called Meat Machine, and it is a horror. It's black and white and horror, and uh, it's about a cult basically. And yeah, I'm very excited about it, and it feels good to have it done. You know, even if
Yeah.
it's just the first part. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
That's great.
What's it about? Can you give us a synopsis?
Yeah, basically, it's about these two guys. They're a rap duo, and so they're two rappers, and they're on tour. They make a stop in the small town, and they get hunted down by a cult. And it's like action packed and stuff like that. But it's also like I tried to put in themes of like mental health and loneliness and that kind of stuff that the main character faces and how he's be able to get manipulated by the cult and that kind of stuff. I don't know.
Nice.
I feel like it might be a little on the nose, but I'm definitely way happier than I am with the Yellow Devil.
Oh, interesting.
That's interesting. So, what's your view on country music?
I I mean I recently moved here to Arkansas like a month ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
So say like
From
you
where?
probably don't have
From
anything
where?
else.
Yeah.
I was before I was in California, San Francisco.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's a difference.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
a difference.
Are you dealing
it's like-
with culture shock right now? Are you like?
Yeah, definitely. Like back in San Francisco, everyone wore masks, and then you had to have your vaccine.
Card.
Your vaccine card if you want to eat in a restaurant and stuff like that. But here, no one wears masks, and no one really cares.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Like barely. I think like my aunt wears a mask, but then that's it. No one else wears masks.
Did you?
So-
Are you in school there, or are you working, or?
Yeah, I'm working at a gas station
Oh, cool.
part time,
Nice.
and then I just make comics in my free time. And
Nice.
Nice.
yeah,
That's awesome.
Do you play country music at the gas station?
What is your obsession? I don't think he likes country music.
He did two rap artists, and I didn't know like there was like a reason why he chose two rap artists instead of like two country musicians.
I think we've
I-
learned
I'm-
something about like people don't just because they live somewhere they're not into the culture.
I feel like I'm a more enlightened and growing person. We thank you for this.
yeah. I don't listen to country music at all. I listen to rap, like lot of rap, but I'm kind of running out of artists to listen to. I'm one of those guys who just listens to the same songs over and over again until I get sick of them.
Nice.
I do the same thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I understand that completely. Like if you look at my playlist, it's like the same 40 songs I've only ever listened to since I was like 8.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And then whenever the musician produces something new, you're like, it's not the same, and you get upset and go back to the original.
Yeah. When they produce something new, I get excited about it, and then when it comes out, I'm like, I'll listen to it later. And then
When you're writing and you have characters like the rap characters in your upcoming comic, like how do you do you draw from real life, or are you drawing from like are you kind of like doing a character sheet? Like how do you start when you're starting a comic?
um, I'm kind of lazy. I just make like a sketch sometimes. Like yeah, just a sketch. Maybe like I sketch a couple scenes that come from the comic, and then I just go right into it. I don't know. Character sheets are my thing.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Cool.
So when you start the comic though, you have like some idea of where it's gonna go, or are you kind of like improvising?
Yeah, I definitely do. If it's longer than like 4 issues, I'll definitely write an outline first
Okay.
because my brain can't keep track of that just on its own.
And now you do all the art too?
Some of them um I tried to draw the Yellow Devil just on my own, but that was like a couple of years ago, and it didn't look good. So I was like, oh, I should just get another artist. But now I think my art's improved. It's still not like the best, but you know, got published, so
Nice.
it's good enough for that.
I don't want to get you in trouble at your job, but do you like write stuff while you're at the gas station or anything, or draw while you're there?
No, I don't, but I do go on my phone sometimes, and my manager's gotten upset with me.
Oh, sorry about that. I know, just because like I've heard stories about comic book writers who like work at the gas stations as well, and always are just drawing and writing while at the gas station.
Yeah, I've heard of those too. I don't know if I'm not. I need to be in the right headspace and the right like location for me to work.
Makes
My,
sense.
my brain's weird.
No, that some artists are like not to say all artists fit into these molds, but
No,
some people
no.
just like to be in the quiet, solitary. But I'm somebody who could write whole plays at work. uh, entire scripts at work. No future employers better listen to this, I guess.
Yeah, no, all future employers, we are 100% dedicated to our work, and our one regret is that we do not have more hours to put in at work.
More for the company,
More for the company,
for the
for the company.
company. Yeah. So like, but I don't know. I think I thrive with that, like, kind of giving my left brain to one thing and my right brain to the script, and yeah.
Is there a reason why you chose to make this comic black and white, or was that just like just a like monetary reason that I don't have to pay colors now?
Yeah, it was mainly the monetary reason. Just wanted to save costs, but I think the black and white works with it's like very gritty and works with the tone. So,
Yeah.
That's
but
good.
yeah, saving money is definitely a plus.
Yeah.
Agree.
Agree.
Yeah, it was like almost a horror comic at some point,
Yeah. Well, I mean, you did have like your comic starts off with a bunch of men sitting around a campfire, and then all of a sudden they're screaming, "Who's out there?" And and then like a stranger comes up, and if I was like, I didn't know at that point it's like, all right, it's time for some werewolf action, or not. In this case, not.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, I can see that now. That was not my intention, but I was trying to make it like mysterious and stuff. Yeah.
Is there like a goal for you as a writer to like keep things mysterious, or do you like just want to like get something, just get the story out?
Yeah, I want to keep making stories, and I want to try to make different kinds of stories. I like different tones, maybe like different maybe for different audiences. Like um I tried writing a young adult comic recently, but I that's still a work in progress, and I'm kind of stuck on it because I don't know. It's all of my other comics are like mature comics.
Interesting.
It's kind of difficult. Yeah,
Is it a preference of yours, or
yeah. It's yeah, and all the comics that I read are like that.
Well, I'm
Um,
curious. Like, why did you start a young adult comic?
um, it's kind of personal. I have been kind of struggle with like mental health and stuff, and I thought, maybe it would be a good idea to try that. I used to read a lot of young adult, not comics, but I used to read a lot of young adult books in high school.
Yeah.
Like I went through a phase where I just read so many books. And yeah, some of them are really good, and I thought I could try something like that, but with a comic.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
yes,
That's interesting. Yeah, like I haven't. I we try not to swear on this podcast, uh, for like similar reasons, but like it's weird to like put yourself in a box sometimes. I guess. Um, I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah. Actually, I had this other comic that I'm working on. Uh, it was called Up in Flames, and it is a crime like contemporary noir, whatever however you pronounce it. And I it got accepted by a publisher as well, a different one from my horror comic, and but then they dropped this ball on me that it would have to be have to have a 15 plus rating at the minimum.
Oh,
So
okay.
then I was like, I shouldn't censor myself. But then I reread my script and I was like, oh, I can just cut out some swearing, maybe like because with the 15 plus rating, they actually give you a lot of leeway. It's like
Yeah.
yeah.
it's like you can have like a couple f bombs,
Oh, that's
stuff
good.
like that.
Yeah.
You can have like alcohol and smoking as long as it's not glorifying. I think.
Who polices that? Like the publisher?
Yeah, they publish on Comixology.
Okay.
If you guys are familiar with that, and
Yeah.
Hoopla, I think, and
Okay.
they have those own. Yeah, so they just fit with those standards.
Oh, cool. I see. Okay. So then Comixology is like reading the comics.
Yeah, they do that, and then they put the age ratings and stuff.
Okay, cool. Got it. Interesting. How many comics are you getting published? Pretty like quite a few, right?
Yeah.
Just two so far.
Okay.
Yeah,
Two is great.
and
Yeah.
Do
yeah.
we have a ETA of the second comic, the one the other one, or
Which one are you talking about? Sorry.
the one or the 15 plus comic, the one that you said the other one that got published? Do you know when
Oh,
that's
like
going to be released?
um, it's gonna be quite a while. Because I yeah, the artist. I'm gonna be honest. She's kind of slow, but I understand that she's been working through some personal stuff. And then it'll have to be colored as well, and I have to letter it, and I only have like a few pages so far of it.
Uh,
I see.
okay, cool. Do you how when you work with the artist, are you like very much like back and forth with them, or is it or like are you guys actually working together? Like she'll call you up and share a screen or whatever, and be like, "This is what I'm looking at right now. This is what's like I want."
I've never done like a voice call with the artist. I guess I use like Discord or Instagram just to talk and do back. Yeah, we do a lot of back and forth, and yeah, they show me like what I'm working on, and then I give them feedback, and then it's like different stages. Like there's like the sketch stage, and then the thumbnails, finals, the inks, yeah,
That's
stuff
cool.
like that.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
I found your Twitter.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. So I'm showing some pictures of the Meat Machine characters, I think.
Yeah, I think that they're on my Instagram as well. It's like the black and white horror one
Yeah, yeah,
and a scary looking one. Yeah.
yeah. What is Scrapped?
Oh, Scrapped is another. It's a pitch that I'm working on too many projects. It's gonna be overwhelming, but that is another crime comic that I'm working on with another artist.
Okay.
And but it's still a pitch so far. We're almost done with the pitch packet. I just need to make like a cover, and then I'm gonna pitch it to some publishers, and then
You
if they
have a
say no,
catchphrase, by the way, Simmer. You
yeah,
have your catchphrase is working on many comics at once. It's like I'm working on
yeah,
too many comics. Like you've said, I'm working on too many comics like at least 3 times. So you have a catchphrase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We used to one.
yeah,
But it's funny because his Twitter page the name of his Twitter page is Simmer is working on many comics at once. That's his full name on Twitter. That's really
yeah,
funny. Yeah, and it's funny that it came up in this podcast too. That's my point. Yeah, nice.
yeah. I mean, it's true.
No, I don't think so. I think having I mean, comics take a long time to make, so I
Yeah.
think like having many projects is a healthy thing.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
my guess is that you're probably practicing more daily than you think you are. Going back to that.
I also think you probably don't like stop thinking about a story. You're not, because you said you're just like, I'll think about something, then I'll stop thinking about something. I'm willing to bet that you like, even like when you're not thinking about something, you are thinking about something.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Actually, yeah, that makes sense. I'm always thinking. I'm always planning. I'm always scheming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're calling you out because we're in the same boat. So it's just like it's cool to see somebody doing that and like having so much work, coming out.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Definitely writing is a lot less it's a lot less time consuming, and I want to say it's easy. It's not easier for everyone, but it's definitely easier for me than drawing. I find
Oh, cool.
drawing is way more tedious and way more like time consuming,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Agreed. Yeah.
Very much so.
A page takes like 100 times more hours than to
Yeah,
draw than to write, for sure. Although I've done many drafts of a script before, like writing takes a lot of time too. But
yeah.
I do think
I
drawing can
agree.
take a long time. So
Yeah, and I kind of had this I used to have this inflated ego when it came to writing. I used to be like, oh, I'm so good at writing, I don't even have to revise and stuff. And then I was like, I saw this they had this screenplay / comic writing competition that I entered,
yeah.
and I was like, oh, I'm gonna show them what's up. And then I really got humbled. I really got humbled. Like they gave me like they wrote so much feedback, and then they were like
Wow.
Oh, wow.
stuff like that, and I was like, oh man, I'm not as good as I thought.
Oh no.
Was that a
No.
good thing, you think, or is that a bad thing? You're like, were you glad that you got humbled in a way?
Yeah, definitely, because the feedback they gave was really helpful, and I think I've really improved since then.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of like now I kind of go through phases of being like, oh I'm really good, and then I go through like, oh, I'm really bad, and then it's just trying to manage that and have balance.
It's never gonna go away.
Yeah.
That's never gonna go away, unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. No writers ever. I don't think there's ever any writer that's like at some point they're like, "Oh, this is the most brilliant work ever. This is so great," and it just stays like that. There's
Look at George Lucas makes like the top grossing films of all time. Still keeps changing them. Still wants to edit them.
Well,
these suck.
I mean, George Lucas has said that like the only time that he's ever felt control of any of his writings is when he's editing it. So he has to go back and edit the films.
All those special effects won Oscars at the time, and he went back and just redid everything because they were bad, you know.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
heck, he wrote in that Han shoots first and hated it so much he literally redid that.
yeah. So unfortunately, yeah, I don't know if you like that or not, but it's never going away. those
I mean,
swings, yeah.
it has it's ups and downs, ups and downs. It's part of the process.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Anything else that you're doing?
Yeah.
Feel like
or anything else we should ask you, actually?
I mean, you can ask me about comics I'm reading, or stuff like that.
Okay.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
What comics are you reading? Are you DC or Marvel guy? And why is Spider-Man the greatest comic book hero of all time?
Spider-Man is not the greatest comic book character of all time.
No, I actually don't think that at all. I just always think that's that question. Fine. Let me rephrase this. Batman, great or greatest hero of all time?
I'm actually not a big superhero guy. Like outside of the movies, it's just I tried to get into them, but it's kind of hard to like find a starting point. Maybe if I haven't tried hard enough, but I don't know. I read like Image. I read a lot of Image comics, and then lately I've been trying to back comics on Kickstarter. I feel like it's good to support indies.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Any good ones lately?
Like indies or Image or just anything.
Anything, yeah. Yeah, like what are some ones that you've liked?
There was a really one I'm reading right now is called A Righteous Thirst for Vengeance. I don't know if you guys have heard of that one, but it's by Rick Remender, and the artist is Andre. I forgot his name. Something Andre Arujo or something. And I found it very interesting. The first issue is like a slow burn, like a really slow burn, and I was thinking like where's this gonna go? And I was like, oh, it's kind of taking a while, but then it definitely had a payoff in the second issue. There's only 2 issues out so far, but the second issue is getting really interesting, and it's like a murder mystery kind of. There's like dark web killings and really gruesome stuff.
Nice. He did that Deadly Class, right?
Oh yeah, I love Deadly Class.
Yeah. Cool. I haven't seen all of Deadly. I haven't read all of Deadly Class yet. But
Deadly Class started off. I feel like it started off really good, but then it kind of fell off halfway after a certain point. I feel like if you know what I'm talking about, then you know what I'm talking about. But I don't want to spoil it.
You don't have to spoil it. Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to spoil it. I'm not sure if we're talking about the same part, but but yeah, I felt like it might have dropped off for me too. But yeah, he's a good writer.
Yeah, he's definitely like might be one of my like definitely top 3 writers, I think.
Oh cool. What about on Kickstarter? Any projects that we should know about or that you recently read?
Oh, I read this one called Stay Awake. Oh shoot, I forgot who's the writer and artist, but it was published by Afterlight Comics, but they did a Kickstarter for it.
Okay.
And I found this one really interesting. It's a horror comic, and
Joseph Oliveira.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
It's a horror comic about this doctor. He's like a psychiatrist, I think, and he gets visited by this police officer to find out to investigate him because a lot of his patients have been committing suicide, and then like stuff hits the fan.
Nice.
He goes down, kind of loses his mind after that.
Okay.
He gets tormented by visions of his. Oh, that's kind of a spoiler actually, but tormented by visions of his patients that he failed to save.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
And it has
That's cool.
it has a twist that I really didn't see coming, and it really got me.
Oh cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you a
That's good.
fan of like using Patreon or Kickstarter or anything like that for your stuff or no?
Yeah, I've used Kickstarter twice. I've done 2 campaigns on there, and
How'd that go?
um the first one I got lucky because I definitely made a lot of errors. The second time I fixed those, um and yeah, second time I learned more, and that's definitely gonna keep using it in the future because I don't know, just like the numbers and stuff, it makes my monkey brain happy.
What was the
Also,
first one? For the Yellow Devil.
Yeah, the first one was a yellow devil.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about how to make money from DMT?
Yeah, that's the second one. I'm also working on that one.
What
But
is how to make money from DMT? The more we talk to you, the more projects pop up.
yeah, I forgot about that one. It's about a father and son duo. It's kind of like Breaking Bad inspired, and they try to manufacture and sell DMT, but it's like more lighthearted at least at the beginning, and more like it's definitely more comedic, or at least I try to make it funny.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Are you doing the art for that?
Yes, I was.
Nice.
I had a friend who was doing the coloring, but then he's not speaking to me anymore. So I
oh wow.
Yep.
yeah, so I decided to learn how to color it myself because
Oh, cool.
yeah.
Yeah, you're proficient in Photoshop. I'm sure you can figure it out.
Yeah. I
Any colorists that you're trying to like draw inspiration from?
um I took this I took this um comics coloring workshop by the Center of Cartooning Studies.
Oh, cool.
It was an online workshop, and it was a week, and it was like 5 hours a day for like 5 days. I actually got a scholarship for it, which is why I went. Otherwise it was like $1,000. So I
Oh,
got it for
wow.
free.
Oh, that's so
So
cool.
I went there. I didn't know anything about coloring, and I honestly like I learned so much, and I had a lot of fun. My professors were great. My other classmates were great. I really loved it.
Oh, nice.
That's
Yeah.
good.
So
That's really
yeah,
cool. Yeah, that's really cool.
I'm thinking like maybe I should be a student full time at that because I love it so much.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
That
Study
place
comics
is
full
good.
time.
Is that the one that's in Vermont?
Yeah, it's in Vermont.
Yeah, yeah. That's a really good school. The
Yeah,
Center for Cartoon Studies. And yeah, like you just said, they have workshops online and everything. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, it's in Vermont. They have like a low residency MFA. I think it was like fly to Vermont.
yeah, and I think they want you to have a lot of prior experience, like several years worth of it,
Yeah.
before you attend full time. So
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see. Maybe when I get to that level.
I don't know. Yeah. It's always worth applying. If you want to do it, it's always worth applying. That's what
I
I
Yeah,
mean,
that's what I say.
worst case scenarios they say no.
Yeah.
So
And they'll give you feedback and tell you why,
yeah. So you can
yeah,
try again. You can do better.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
But even if they just see promise, I mean, you have a lot of projects.
Yeah,
If they see promise, then they might let you in, and you'll catch up. That's how I got into my MFA program. They're like, no, 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 through my whole portfolio, and one thing was a maybe, and they're like, you know. maybe the maybe has potential, and then I was a huge disappointment for 2 years. I'm kind of joking.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah, it's more than 2 years.
what?
More than 2 years.
No, it
You said
wasn't.
you were huge. You said you were a huge disappointment for 2 years.
Oh,
I said more than 2 years. I was
oh,
saying.
thanks, Eric. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know. Yeah. I began as a disappointment. I will go out as a
I
disappointment.
was born in disappointment. You merely adapted to disappointment.
I cast a shadow on this land.
By the first time I saw disappointment, the first time I saw enjoyment, it was blinding.
That's awesome. Simmer.
Next time, the quote, the Bane quote, where you just replace enjoyment with darkness and light, with disappointment and enjoyment. That was awesome.
Yeah,
Yep.
that was awesome. That was awesome.
Well,
That was
thank
very
you.
epic, Eric.
I know. That's my favorite quote of that entire movie. I hate the rest of the movie except for that part.
I don't even know what movie. What movie?
Dark Knight Rises, Batman Dark Knight
Oh,
Rises.
that movie is garbage.
Yeah, except for that one quote where he talks about the darkness and the light.
Remember that
Wait,
time
what?
that he ejected out of a plane into a nuclear bomb and lived?
Yeah. And then he's like, what about Fallout? And I'm like, yeah, it's a great video game, but I don't understand the point. He ejected.
Plot armor at its finest. I was just
Also,
watching
he's
the final, the dry F9 that the Fast and Furious. Have you guys seen that?
I've not seen
Yeah,
the latest
I've
one.
seen it.
One of the characters in that movie has gained awareness that he's in a movie and has plot armor, and he like knows that he can't be killed. Basically, he's like, guys, think about what all the stuff that we've done. We're immune.
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
remember
oh,
that. Yeah.
oh my god, this character knows that he's in a movie right now. He's aware. He's become aware that he's he's in a movie for people's enjoyment.
Do it whenever someone like does that. I just want to see Deadpool just in the background, just nodding his head, like approving. Like whenever someone breaks the fourth wall like that.
Yeah, in Fast 10, he's gonna look at the camera and be like, "What do you think is gonna happen?" Like he's just gonna address the audience directly. Here we go. What do you think's gonna happen? Like Jeff Probst in The New Survivor. Yeah, I'm bouncing everywhere. Yeah. Simmer knows what I'm talking about. I'm not going to spoil it for everyone. Go watch it, and you'll see the character that knows he's in a movie. Maybe that's like a cool new trend for characters as we reach the metaverse, that some characters should know that they're in a comic book or, in a novel. I don't know.
If you watch Doom Patrol, they talk like the first season. There's very much reference to this.
Yeah, Mr. Is it Mr.
Where-
Nobody? No,
I think it's Mr. No, and it's not Mr. Nobody, but
that's
Okay,
something else.
please. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. What? In Doom Patrol, who's the villain?
I'm looking it up.
If you wanted an entrance into a superhero, by the way, Simmer, I would go
Yeah.
with Doom Patrol. It's really, I would
Oh,
say
okay.
that's the most psychological of comic stuff that I've ever watched. It's really a very interesting series.
I've watched Daredevil. I really loved it. I was arguing with my brother. I was like, this is the best superhero show, even though I haven't seen any other ones. And he's seen a bunch, but I was like, no, this is the best one. And then I made him watch all 3 seasons, and then afterwards he was like, okay, yeah, it's the best.
Oh, cool. It was good. It was really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've grown on Doom Patrol. It was Mr. Nobody, Eric, by the way.
Oh, it was okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a character who knows that he's in a TV show. So
Yep.
so yeah, that's the modern trend for characters. Simmer, this has been really fun. How can people find you?
Instagram, Twitter. Yeah, that's it basically.
Okay.
I'm thinking of starting a TikTok, but I don't know yet.
Okay.
We'll see.
Yeah. And where can people find your comics?
Um
Soon to be on Comixology.
yeah, Comixology. and well, if you follow my social media, then I'll post. One of them will be like published like physically, and the publisher said they'll be in comic book stores and stuff. And it'll be so
Great.
exciting if I see my own book in a store. I'll freak out. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That would be really cool. Cool. Well, thanks for coming on. And
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Keep us
All right.
updated.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Bye.
glad to be here. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry for the early goodbye.
All right. Yeah. Bye.
Right. Bye.
All right.